Hi there, welcome back to Build a Stitch. I'm going to set up some new fern stitches, but I'm going to kind of look at spacing of these because I've been kind of keeping them about the same distance apart, the branches, and I want to see what happens when we start doing some different spacing. So I'm going to start with narrower. And by narrower, I mean the center. I'm really focusing on this distance between the two rows of stitching, because if I don't hit the knot there we go. It's going to give us some different looks, I think. It's also going to change what we can and can't put on here. So, like the 3 stitched lazy daisies probably won't fit here, at least not with this thread. If I do a thinner thread, maybe I'll try that. I'll try that at some point. But so these are about half as long. These center stitches now are about half as long as they were before. And you can still vary the angles there that those stitches are coming out. Okay, so I'm going to stop with that. That's like 5 rows, which I think is what I did before. Yeah. And just going to start simple, although I think this time I'm going to do the colonial knots instead of the French knots. I didn't do any colonial knots here, but I did right here. Just feel like doing something a little bit different. And I think for this one, I'm going to put them on all of these little branches. Let's see, and how do I do that one? There we go. I always have to that's not it. It's this is when I always forget the first time I go to do it. I'll figure it out here in a second. I know it's a loop. It's just figuring out which loop, which way to do the loop. Judith Baker Montano book. There we go. Okay, I'd go under. That's what I was doing wrong. Under and then loop around. This goes under and then around like that. There we go. I always think of it, it's kind of like a snail. Just, I don't know what about it. It just reminds me of a snail. I don't do these as often as I do French knots, but so under, loop around. Oh, the needle goes under, okay. Why can't I figure that out this out today? Okay, something is not right. I think it's like why can't I do these today? This is weird. This goes under. And I think it's kind of like that, but not quite. I don't know, this is baffling me today. Okay, I might just switch to French knots. That's okay, and then figure this one out. Oh, there we go. That's more like it right there. I don't know what I just did differently, but that's what I'm doing. Ah, okay, I see. Okay, so sorry about that. Sometimes that sequence is just like, what? And apparently my brain is not really working that well this morning. I did it by accident that last time, and now I'm like, goes under, that goes under, and that goes over, so like that, I think. I do not know. Wow, this is weird. Anyway. Sometimes our brains just are like, nope. And I'm not sweat that because the biggest difference between this and a French knot is that you start with that kind of twist in there, and that middle one there got really big, but oh well. Might have to go back and watch my own video on these. Key is pulling that. Okay, let's do that again. Glad I'm doing a bunch of these. Okay, so the key is that you do this under and it kind of flips like that. That's the big difference between this and the French knot. I remember it taking me forever to learn. Oh no, I lost that one. It took me forever to learn French knots when I was a kid. I think I finally just like sat down and did like 100 of them to figure it out. And I still haven't managed to figure out crochet and things like that. Because just for whatever reason, I can do like single stuff, but when it gets anything more than that, I just can't see the movement of the thread and the knots and stuff. It's like block in my brain. But that's okay, I have plenty to do without. Worrying about that. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that this one's under the camera because I know I kind of came out from under it that time. Okay, so what I'm doing is putting this here, looping around, and then making sure it flips like that. That's the big key, is that flipping, and you get that kind of, that's why I think of it as a snail. I don't know, it reminds me of a snail. So, there we go. And you can just tell there's just a little bit, that twist just gives this a little bit of a different look than a French knot, because there's a bunch of French knots. And it's very subtle, but there we go. I think I'll put one at the tip of this one too, just for good measure. Since it took me that long to figure it out. There we go. Okay, there we have it. Closer together, little stitches. Except for that one, got a little out of control. And yeah. Quite a bit of a different look than that one right above it. That's a little bit, you can kind of see both of them there. A little more spaced apart. So I'm going to stop there for today. Have a fantastic rest of your day.